So just again, if you didn't hear, the playlist today is the Unwinding playlist that I've lost. Oh, here it is. Their first song is Peace. And we'll get started. 5, 4, 3, 2, and you can press start. We'll start on our backs. Lie yourself down. So getting our bodies, our torsos a little prepared for gardening season. How do we do that and be mindful and gentle? Because, one of the things that we do want to do here is build a little strength to help us in this chore. Gardening is a chore, even though it's a chore that we love to do. So we're going to strengthen our core muscles a little bit today. We're going to get a little bit into the side body. We're going to get a little bit into the back body. But we'll start just simply by dropping the legs over to one side as we look over the opposite shoulder. Take a couple of breaths here. In this position, your top knee kind of ends up, if not right inside of it, but on the way towards the opposite foot's arch. And as you settle here, as you feel the body starting to respond, you can start to feel that top leg beginning to feel comfortable enough to drop a little bit. And as it drops, you're starting to feel more of a stretch through the top of that top leg's thigh, hip flexor muscle right here. If you want a little bit more, you can always take that bottom foot, place it on top, and then use the ankle to help draw that knee a little farther forward towards the front left edge of the mat, or front edge of the opposite side of the mat to the knee. Feel the shoulders release. Just notice as we're starting to feel the body surrender, you also want to feel yourself lengthen. And both actions are kind of equal opposite. So we're not over lengthening, we're not over dropping. It's just this progression of release. Okay, we're going to release that top leg if you put it up. And we'll just do a little slow rocking from side to side, just feeling out the hips, feeling out the back, the legs. And then we'll drop both legs over to the second side and we'll look over the opposite shoulder. So now I can really look at you at it. So again here, as we settle, we just feel the body's beginning to drop down. We feel length. The stretch you're feeling mostly is the top. So this also gets into that TFL. It could even get into a little bit of bursa. If you want a little bit more, you can take that bottom foot, place it on the top knee, and then use that knee, kind of reaching that foot forward a little bit, lengthening the knee towards the opposite front edge of the mat. As you move through the body, as you breathe and you feel yourself trying to release, notice that there are areas that just aren't in your awareness so they don't surrender, and allow that softening to happen. Do 3 more breaths here. Beautiful. All right, we'll release that top leg. And again, nice and slow. You may notice right at the beginning, the body's like, oh. And that's the feeling that you've started to open. Feels a little bit more vulnerable. So move slowly, and as you move from side to side, Give yourself everything that the body needs. So a little massage as you press the low back into the floor, as you move the legs from side to side. That feeling of, you know, vulnerability in the legs and the hips starting to recharge as you begin the movement again. And then we're going to press the low back into the floor as we draw the knees to the chest. And you can start to begin to inch the hips a little forward so that the tailbone and the head seemingly are moving away from one another. Then draw those legs in a little bit more. I'm going to exhale, squeeze the legs together. Inhale, open the legs up. Exhale, squeeze together. Feel the legs squeezing together, feel the other hips hugging together. Inhale, open them up. 3 more. Beautiful. As we exhale, this time we'll hug in. We're going to keep holding onto the right leg, and we're going to drop the left foot to the floor. And if the left foot feels really super easy, you can start to slide the left leg to the floor. As we press out through the inseam of the left leg, draw the inseam of the right leg forward towards your face. Hug the hips towards each other ever so slightly, or just feel the body beginning to become more streamlined. Longer from foot through head, not as wide. Rock that knee a little bit from side to side. And then we're just gonna roll it, keeping that right shoulder down, roll the leg over to the left. Inhale, roll all the way back. Take your time with this. Exhale, roll. Press down through that left foot, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Feel that spiral. So I'm moving here into those raking ribs. As I rock back and forth here, almost feeling as if with each spin here, my intercostal muscles are lengthening. One last one here. And then we'll come back through center. We're going to press the low back into the floor. And if it feels okay, so you can stay just like this, you can maybe lift up your bottom leg. If you want a little bit more core, you press the low back into the floor. Draw the heart and the knee towards each other, not the head and the knee. And squeeze. Squeeze the abdominals, squeeze the hips. Press down through the back. Let the head and the jaw and the neck be soft. And breathe. A few more breaths here. Keep drawing that leg in a little bit more as you reach out to the left. If you want even more, of course, you can reach your arms forward. But with the arms moving forward, still be very mindful of head, neck, shoulders, staying soft. Beautiful. One more breath if you're doing it up here, and then we're going to grab hold of the leg. And as we inhale, we're going to lengthen the left leg forward and lengthen the head back. Draw that right knee in, just rock it a little bit back and forth. Okay, we're going to plant that foot to the floor. We're going to take our left leg up. And here again, if it feels just easy to do it with the knee bent, you can always straighten it. I'm going to take our left hand to the floor. As we exhale, we're rolling over to the right, lengthening from foot through head. Inhale, coming back. Squeeze in. Exhale, swing over, feel the twist of the ribs. And back. 3. And back. 2 more. Excellent. And here we're going to draw that leg in as we reach the right leg out. Start to feel the heart moving towards the thigh moving towards the heart. If lifting the head and the shoulders off the floor here doesn't create all that work in the neck, the jaw, the shoulders, then lift up. Reach the right foot away, the left knee in, the low back down. For more effort, arms come forward, we'll hold for 3 breaths. Keep pressing down to that belly button, last breath. And then as you come in, draw that knee in and squeeze it in as you draw down. Just rock that leg a little bit from side to side. Beautiful. All right, we're going to place that leg back down on the floor and stretch the arms up over the head. I'm going to start to inch our shoulders now. And then over to the left. And you're going to arc all the way over that you can, leaving the right elbow on the floor, just off the floor. But if you find that that arm cannot reach the floor, you've gone too far, most certainly your right shoulder's on the mat, as is your head. To get a little deeper, if you want, start to contract a little bit more through the left side. And for those of us with scoliosis, keeping that arm down is a challenge because we know we can go longer, but it's not about going longer. It's about keeping the body grounded. So keep that right shoulder down, keep that right elbow down, and then grab hold of the elbow and the wrist and reach that arm up and over a little bit more towards the left. From here, we're going to start to add our legs. We're going to start to walk our legs now over to the left. So big side stretch here. Both butt cheeks are on the floor. You can feel the length through that whole right side. If you want a little bit more here, you can take your right foot and cross it over the left and press that right heel away from you. Oh, big side stretch. Breathe. Excellent. All right, we're going to release the foot first. I'm going to release the arms back into cactus pose. And then we'll start to slide ourselves back through center. And just before we move to the second side, be mindful of that nice long stretch through the right side. So notice how it feels. And know that as you move to the second side, or the right side, shimmering with your shoulders, that it's a whole new ballgame. If you were really deep on one side and you get onto this side, lift the arm up over the head and the elbow is not on the floor, then back yourself up. It's about keeping the body grounded. It's not about how deep you can get into that curve. That's the second part of it. It's how deep can you get into that curve with your full body grounded to the mat. So elbow on the mat, pretty much. Forearm for sure, upper arm for sure. And then grab hold of that left wrist and stretch it over to the right. That's the beginning part. Then we'll start to inch our feet. So walking our feet now over to the right, both butt cheeks on the floor. And then if you want a little bit more, if all of this is working, you can take your left heel, cross it over the right, and then press that heel away from you. Breathe. All right, we'll do 2 more breaths here. And then we'll start to release the arms first, release the legs, start to inch your body back through center. Feel all that length now through the body. Reach the arms up over the head, reach the right side really long, reach the left side really long. And then let's just roll over onto our left side. And we'll take our right foot and we'll bring it on top of our, up and over. So the heel of that right foot is lined up. It's about 5 or 6 inches down from the hip. You can take your right hand now and just Press that thigh bone away, get a little space in the hip joint, press down to the big toe mound of that right foot. Feel a little space that you're creating in the pelvis that you can do a little pelvic tilt with. One last little side stretch, you're just gonna crawl ourselves up. Always the hardest part of that pose. Press out through the right, left, that's right, that's the left foot here. Inner heel is reaching away. And then just start to arc again. Arm reaching towards that foot. So feel yourself pressing down to the floor. So you can close your eyes here for a moment just to feel yourself out here. So you will definitely feel a nice long side stretch through the left side. Notice if your head is lined up with your shoulder blades. So again, if your head is forward, fine, but lengthen up and you'll see as you find that magic wall behind you, all of a sudden the stretch becomes a little bit more intense. Now you can stay just like this if you want a little extra strength involved for those arms, which again, helping with the raking. Start to roll the big toe mound down of the left foot. You can press into the right knee to lift those hips up that are heavy. Keep trying to draw that big toe mound down to the floor. We'll take that right arm and lift it up. From here, lift the hips a little bit. For those that want even more than this, you can start to slowly drop the hip down, reach the hand towards the heel, shoulder in the shoulder girdle, up and over. We'll do that 2 more times. You can stay where you are in any of the other poses, or you can join me here for 1 more. And this time we lift up, 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 and we'll come all the way over and just stretch yourself out through your downward facing dog. Let the head go. Feel the back side of the waist, the ribs. Should feel a lot of sensation, and then we'll come back down and we'll flip over. And let's start on the second side. So taking that top leg or back leg, which will be the left in this case, forward, and we'll crawl ourselves up. Feel that shoulder, right shoulder in the shoulder girdle, head up against the magic wall. Left arm reaching towards that right foot. Breathe. So if you were closing your eyes and finding that magic wall behind you, would your bottom ribs, or the right rib, be up against that wall, or would they be rounded forward? So be mindful of that, especially if you've got scoliosis. That's something that I notice, right? I twist here, and I want to lengthen and kind of lean back against that wall, which creates a whole different sort of feeling for me. So again, that feeling is interesting, so I want to just explore it. I don't want to be stuck in there. All right, so again, you can stay just like this. You can take your hand to your knee, and you can lift yourself up, drawing that big toe mound down towards the floor, lifting those hips up high, lifting the arm up over the head. And you can stay just like this. You can reach the arm up and over, and then you can start to roll down. If you want to join me with this stuff. 1, 2, and here's our last one, 3, and we'll crawl all the way over. Once again, we make our way into downward facing dog. Just give yourself a nice big stretch. Try to roll your heels towards the floor. If it's not happening, you can walk your hands back, just getting a little bit into the backs of the legs, maybe lifting up the toes and giving them a roll or a wiggle. And then we're going to inhale, come forward. We'll tap our knees to the mat. Pull the hands and knees towards each other, and we'll round ourselves through cow pose. And feel here the upper arms drawing back behind you as the heart starts to walk through the arms. Just going to take off my sweater here. It's stuck on me. Okay. So we'll press down and we'll round ourselves up through cat pose. And we'll inhale, we'll roll ourselves back and through cow. Exhale, starting with the tailbone, feel that kind of movement from one arc to the other, letting the back of the neck be the last thing to drop here. And then inhale, rolling the tailbone up and through. And once again, finding that one vertebrae at a time movement as the heart reaches to the arms. Again, we roll from the tailbone, rolling down, rolling up, rolling down, and then rolling up, rolling down, and rolling up. Do that 3 more times. Here's our last one. Excellent. All right, so let's take our right leg out to the right. Toes are facing forward, and we'll do a little bit more cat and cow here, kind of rolling ourselves through our thigh bone and hip bone. As you lift up, pulling the hands and knees towards each other, feel that right hip bone, or the sensation, how it's different than the left one. Beautiful. And then keeping your left hand planted, we're going to inhale, sweep that right arm up. And as we exhale, we'll thread it through the left hand, left knee, drop the head towards the floor, chin towards the chest. Inhale, roll yourself back up again. Exhale, roll yourself down. Feel the rib cage moving here back and forth. One last time like this. Inhale up and exhale down. We'll come up this time, inhale, and we'll plant that right hand back down to the floor. Let's do the opposite hand, taking the left arm up. Sing, as you pull the legs towards each other, that rib cage try to open to the left. And as we exhale, we'll slide that left hand through, and here we'll stay. So drop the chin towards the chest, hand can be forward. Maybe start to inch that right foot up. Maybe you can grab hold of the toe. Maybe not, who cares? Drop the chin again, so no pressure in the neck whatsoever. You're feeling that left shoulder blade roll off the spine. And if you want more, you can take that right arm up, turn the thumb to face behind you, bend the elbow, and take that forearm onto the back of the spine, pressing the shoulder open. So feeling that collarbone widen, rib cage open to the ceiling. Breathe. All right, from here, let's take that arm back up over this, up in the air, and we'll take it over our head, bending the elbow, planting it to the floor. We're gonna push into it and slowly roll ourselves back up. And then take that hand back down, take that leg in, and let's just do ourselves a little favor by sensing it as we kind of roll around. Okay, let's move on to the second leg. Left leg is gonna come out. Toes are facing forward, a little cat and cow here. All right, we'll plant our right hand down, we'll take our left arm, lift it up, and we'll slide it through 3 times. Exhale, slide that hand down. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale down. And inhale up. Last time like that. We lift up. We'll change, plant that left hand to the floor. We'll take that right arm up. Feels so much more congested because of that hip, but it's just, you know, love the awkwardness once in a while. Sweep that hand through and down. Chin is to the chest. We're on our shoulder blade. That shoulder blade is reaching towards that foot. The left hand is lifted up, holding us in place, but if we can do it with that, we'll take that left arm up. We'll turn the thumb back behind us, bend the elbow, And press that forearm into the back, spinning the ribcage open to the left a little bit more. There should be no pressure in the jaw, neck. Big stretch through the shoulders. Beautiful. We're going to release the arm, place it back down to the floor, sweep ourselves up one last time. And then as the hand comes down, the leg comes in. Then we'll do a little cat and cow again, or a little movement, however it feels right in the body to kind of give yourself a little extra space after that movement. Okay, let's round ourselves back. We're coming into child's pose. We'll slide our hands back behind us and bring our palms up as we come into a little child, little mouse. As we inhale, let's roll ourselves up. We're going to come sit, press into the shins, and lift our hips up. Okay, so this next one is just a little bit movement for the hips. I don't know, I'm sure we have, I'm sure we've been doing this. So we're going to step our leg forward and come back in. Take our other leg forward, drop, and come back in. Now, if this is too much for the knees, and then as we move out again, move into a different place. So it's just about kind of giving the hip joint lots of different places that it feels comfortable moving. So you can, so to make it more challenging, keep switching legs, right? If it's not comfortable, if you find the switching of the legs just not a great place to be, then just do one leg like I'm doing here for a little bit of time. But if you're comfortable going one leg, then one movement, one leg, do it. It's a little bit more challenging. Two more movements, so just finish yourself off. Okay. And from here, we'll place our hands back down on the floor. Inch the knees right underneath the hips. Make sure the wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Draw the sides of the ribs up. So did you notice that difference? Sides of the ribs lifting up, kind of pulls the core in. Now with that, let the heart melt down. As we press the heels away, we're going to lift the knees off the floor. I'm going to hold for 5 breaths. Lift the ears up, keep melting the heart. Feel the heart really reaching forward towards the front of the mat as the sides of the waist lift up. 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, press the hands forward, draw the belly to the thighs. We'll slide our way up and into downward facing dog one more time. As we inhale, we're going to come forward into plank pose, and you know you can tap your knees to the floor. Try to create a little bit of roundness to the upper back, a little cat pose to the shoulders to keep strong, and then bend the elbows back, the knees, of course, can tap as you lower to the mat. Okay, so we're going to start as we inch our hips back behind us. Let's just start with a little cobra rolling up. So we get that spine moving one vertebrae at a time, starting to feel as if there's, you know, an easeful togetherness about how the back moves. Like one good team. All right, so we're going to do 2 more. If you want this time, you're going to try to do this without your hands on the floor. So hands and elbows lined up, forearms are parallel to the floor. Shoulders loop in, press down to the feet and the pelvis, roll up as high as you can go. And then exhale, roll back down one vertebrae at a time, let the head touch. This time, time as you inhale, come up, we'll stay up. We're going to swim our arms back behind us. Lengthen the back of the neck. Press into the pelvis. Maybe you can lift your feet up off the floor so you're kind of perched here on your pelvis. And the body's kind of lifting up and away from the pelvis as we fly. You can stay just like this, or last movement, taking the arms forward. And then exhale, bend the elbows. As if you have a TheraBand in your hand and you're pulling the TheraBand apart, elbows are coming towards each other. Release the hands back behind you. 2 more like that. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, lift the heart, draw the elbows towards each other, and then straighten the arms. One last one. Beautiful. And then come back down, take a rest. Feel how the heart rate starts to respond to slower, deeper breaths. Notice how comfortable the floor can feel after a little hard back work. All right, we're going to do one more. So feel the shoulders loop into the shoulder girdle, press the hands into the floor, plus the feet, plus the pelvis. Inhale, start to lift yourself up. As the heart reaches forward, feel that tailbone reaching back as if it's trying to scoot between the heels. And again, if it feels all right to lift the arms and legs again, go for it. So we're gonna, if it feels okay, now your arms can stay apart, or if you want, you can draw them together behind your back. Reach the fingers towards the heel, and then we're going to turn the fingers to the left as we look over our right shoulder. Breathe. Belly in, pressing down to the pelvis again. That's where you're perched. Inhale, come back through center, lengthen. And over, the fingers go to the right as you look over your left shoulder. Breathe. And then come back through center, and again, we'll lower down, resting the cheek, the opposite cheek on the floor. Noticing again all the work, heavy work of the back, and how completely overpowering it can feel to really just release you into the mat. So indulge in that feeling of just being sucked into the earth. All right, we're going to turn our head back through center again, press hands and knees into the floor, and here we are again up in tabletop position. All right, here's one for the hips. We're just going to do some nice big circles with the hips. And then we're going to do circles in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. We're going to come up into downward facing dog. And now we're going to walk ourselves to the front of the mat. And then once we get to the front, bend your knees a little bit, let the body hang over the legs. Feel all the effort we've already put into that back, into the hips, into the ribs. Take a nice big breath, feel them saying hello. And then as we root down through our feet, so if you want to take a moment, just feel your hands connect the feet to the floor. And then start to roll yourself up. Press down to the floor, we'll stretch the arms up over the head. So once again, here we can grab hold of the right wrist. Actually, yeah, why not? Okay, make sure your feet are facing forward, about hip width apart. If you are up against your imaginary or magic wall, head draws back towards it, lengthen, And then hinging from the left waist, stretch over. Now notice there's two different feelings here. You feel as if the arms can weigh you down towards the floor, but you can also feel your arms lengthening up and away from you. So if I were you, I would move with the one that lengthens you up and away as opposed to the one that makes you feel as if you're gonna roll back down to the floor. So reach that heart up towards the hands. Inhale, come back up and release the hands out to the side. Reach them away. Circles, 1, 2, 3. Keep reaching out through those fingers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll sweep back up. We'll grab hold of the left wrist, drop the shoulders, collarbones wide, head, shoulders up against that wall. As we hinge into that right side waist and lengthen through the left, lifting the heart up towards those fingers. Breathe. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up. We'll release the hands back out to the side and reach again. Lift the heart up. Feel the bottom tip of the shoulder blade lifting the heart up kind of towards the chin. You can feel the warmth or the yellow of the sun kind of hitting the bottom of your chin. Let's take our fingers now, palms up, reach them away and back behind you. And then palms down, reach them away and back behind you. Open and close. And open and close. One last set. Open and close. Beautiful. We're going to bend our elbows, pressing the forearms away. And then we're going to squeeze those palms, or forearms and palms towards each other and open up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. We're going to turn our palms back behind us. And then we're just going to slide our hands to our opposite elbows. Press them into one another. Feel the upper outer arms roll back behind you. Press the mid back into the forearms, forearms into the mid back, and lengthen up. Just a nice little stretch through the neck and shoulders, tops of the shoulders. We'll take our right ear towards our right shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, come back up. So just notice which arm is on the top here. We're going to switch them. Sweep out and up. And then sweep all the way back down like you're wading through molasses. And we'll take the left arm, or whatever arm was on the bottom, now on the top. Left ear to left shoulder. Inhale back up, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale back up, we'll release the arms again, stretch them up. And then let's fold down, hands to the heart. Head follows the hands, and we'll just start to roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Knees can bend to accommodate the movement of the vertebrae, moving one at a time. And then touch down. As we inhale, we'll come into a flat back. As we exhale, hands will come down. We're going to take our right leg back behind us. You know you don't have to drop it to the floor, but I like the drop. Just do a little rocking back and forth here. Pull the legs towards each other. And from that back knee, reach the heart up and away. Feel as the heart reaches through that the upper outer arms open up away from each other. Let that heart come forward. Now pull that left shin back. And make sure that front shin is perpendicular to the floor. And then we're going to just start to move back and forth. Heart reaches forward on the come back, big hamstring stretch. And as we come forward, we feel that heart lift as the legs hug in. Do that a few times. Beautiful. On this next one, as we come forward, we'll lift our arms up. We're going to take our right hand to the left knee. We're going to take that left arm, and as we spin our right ribs over to the left, we'll take that left arm back behind us. Now, if you want here, as you hug the hips towards each other, if that left hand can find the right thigh, you can add a little back bend twist here, but only if you don't have, if this is creating any discomfort, let go of it. Beautiful. Coming back through your twist. Sweep that back arm under, lift both arms back up, look up. And then we'll take both hands to the floor. Plant the hands, step that leg back. Let's move through vinyasa so the knees can tap down, pull the hands back, draw the hips forward, bend the elbows back, reach the heart down. Inhale, arms just a little wide, scoop the shoulders, peel up. And roll back down. Do that a few times. And notice here, arms aren't as wide, but they still feel like you're rolling right up that spine comfortably. Slide the hands back, press hands and knees into the floor. As we lift ourselves back up, and we'll take that right leg forward. So again, front knee is perpendicular to the floor. We pull it back towards the back knee. From that back knee, we lift the heart up and out. And then as we start to stretch that front leg straight, we reach that heart forward. So it's a real big hamstring stretch as we rock back and forth. Okay, on this next inhale forward, let's lift our arms up. We'll twist from our left wrist, taking our left hand to the right knee. We'll take that right arm back behind us. So nice twist here if you want a deeper twist. And some of us want a deeper twist. Some of us don't need a deeper twist. That right hand behind the left thigh. And then we take that left arm and we reach it up. It's like a back bendy, twisty, heart lifting up thingy. To come back out of it, we'll take our arms back into that twist. We inhale, the back arm sweeps under, both arms lift up. Beautiful, both hands find the floor again. And this time we'll go right up and into downward facing dog. And inhale, cat tilt ourselves forward and into plank pose. We're going to tap our knees to the floor, tap the tops of the feet to the floor. And as we pull our hands back, bend the elbows and reach the heart forward until the pelvis comes to the floor. And then the belly comes to the floor. And then we're in this upside down little baby cobra, which we can then take our arms back behind us and do a little flying. Back of the neck long, sides of the waist hug in. If you want to lift the feet up here, you can. Breathe. Tailbone reaching beyond the heel. So notice as you press the tailbone down, the pelvis presses deeper into the mat and the low back sensations soften. Beautiful. Let's sweep those arms forward. Inhale. Exhale, we'll sweep them back. Forward. and back, and forward, and back. Beautiful, lift up. Bend the elbows, plant the hands, loop the shoulders into place, roll yourself up into a bigger cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Start to walk our hands back towards our feet as we come into a forward fold. And then pressing into the feet, we'll start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let your back of your head find that imaginary wall, and then feel the front of the shoulders open up so more of the backs of the shoulders are resting on that wall. We're going to walk our feet together here. We're going to press down to the left leg. And as the inseam of the left leg goes down, the inseam of the right leg lifts up. Spit your butt back. Hug the hips in, belly in, lift the knee up higher. Okay, one more time, a little higher. Excellent. Then open that leg, woo! Open that leg out to the right. Grab hold of the foot and draw it into tree pose. So if your tree pose here is too high in the upper thigh, bring it down below the knee and find your tree. Or you can take the arms out to the side. You can make some funky branches. And it's fun to, if you do lose your balance, to try to, swim yourself back into balance. So. Okay, so we're at the back of our mat. So we're going to take our right knee up. We're going to bend our standing leg a little bit, and we're going to reach that right leg as far forward as it'll go. As we swing ourselves up and into warrior two. Okay, we're going to straighten that front leg as we come into our reverse triangle pose, reaching that right arm up and back away from the right toes. Big stretch through the whole right side. And then hinging the hip back to the left. Feel that split in the body as you reach it forward, forward, forward. Hand comes to wherever as the left arm lifts up. Feel that right buttocks tuck under. Feel the back of the head back on that imaginary wall. Left shoulder on that imaginary wall. Again, as we move into the side ribs a little bit, let's take the pinky finger of the left hand, turn it down, and reach it over the head as you plant that left heel into the earth. Beautiful. We're going to bend that front knee again as we come back up. We're going to straighten that leg, come into a 5-pointed star. And as we exhale, we're going to fold back forward. Pull the legs towards each other, feel that lift up in the pelvis. Bend one knee, draw the other heel, the heel towards you. So big stretch to the inner thigh. Inhale up into the second side. One more. Excellent. We're going to crawl ourselves back to that front leg. Step back through downward facing dog. And then start to walk yourself back towards the back of the mat again, coming into a forward fold. Show you from a different view this time. Inhale, we'll roll up. Show you from this view. No, I won't. I'll show you from the view that I was started at. All right, so take that left leg now. Inseam of the right leg drops down. Inseam of the left leg lifts up. Split the inner thighs back. Lift the leg up a little higher. So as we lift that leg higher, we're asking our hip flexor to work for us. That's why you feel that interesting crease in the leg. We're going to take that leg out to the side. Arms out, we're going to find the inner thigh. of the right leg. Arms come up into any version of branches that you want. Wow, oh wow. Feel yourself connecting downwards, but also lengthening upwards. And when you find equal opposite action, you will balance perfectly. Beautiful. We're going to take that right leg a little forward again. We're going to start with a little bend in our standing leg. Left leg is going to reach as far forward as it'll go. And we sweep ourselves up and come into warrior two. We'll drop the back hand as we make our way into reverse triangle. So nice big stretch here through the whole left side. And we take that length with us as we hinge from the hips and we make our way into our triangle pose. So either pressing the shin into the hand or hand on the floor or hand on the thigh. Lengthen the bottom ribs towards that foot. Feel the head and that right shoulder up against that wall. Back hip rooted into the floor, making the head move a little bit forward. Again, if you want more of that side stretch, turn the pinky finger forward and reach that arm over the head. Beautiful. Inhale back up, bend that front knee a little bit. Back up through your warrior two. 5-pointed star. And we'll bend our elbows, bend our knees, turning the heels, and come into goddess. Pull the sides of the ribs back. Breathe. So starting to lower down a little bit more, encouraging a little bit more of that feeling of lengthening through the bottom half, because we use this a lot when we're gardening. And then stretch, turn the heels out, fold forward. And you can start to rock again from side to side a little bit. And slow down, hold one side for an extra breath or two. Try to keep the heels down if you can. And also keep your knee and toes moving and tracking the same direction. All right, we're going to crawl back to the front of the mat, step back one last time, downward facing dog. And then we'll tap our knees to the floor. We're going to move into pigeon pose. So I'm going to offer the version of pigeon pose that's a little easier on the body, a little easier on the knees and the hips. So the front shin is lined up with the front of the mat, it's parallel. The front thigh is lined up with the side of the mat, parallel with it. The back shin is parallel with the side of the mat. And the space between the legs, the front heel, back knee, is probably about the same distance as the knee to the heel and the front leg. So I find this pose, so my right buttock in this pose, my left leg is forward, is not on the ground unless I really kind of, feel it move down. And for me, that pulls a little on the knee. So that back hip does not have to come to the floor. Really all I'm trying to say here. Right hand is going to press into the left foot. Left hand at first is going to be like a lizard. We're going to come into like a lizard-like pose. Feel the shoulders draw into the shoulder girdle, reach the heart forward, and just start to, move a little bit from side to side. When you feel comfortable, you can start to fold over that leg. See if you can. So what I do in this pose to keep my feet active is I will take my whole forearm and press it into the foot. You can also just use your hand, but since we're in this position and it works, it's kind of nice. Inhale, lengthen here. And as you exhale, see if you can surrender some of the weight of your body into the earth or into that front leg. All right, I think that should do it. We're gonna lift ourselves up. So here's 2 ways of coming into this pose on the second end. You can just lift up the knees, keep spinning, keep spinning, keep spinning, and look at that. Exactly the same on the second side. Or if you wanna watch, if you wanna spin to face me, just set yourself up. Second pose, second side. Left hand is gonna find the right foot, right hand is gonna come out to the side. At first, we just start to get our bodies moving a little bit from side to side. Feeling all the work that this takes. And then when you start to feel that the body can soften, you can soften all the way down. Forearm and the foot. Head to the mat, or even if you want to a block, if that makes the pose feel more comfortable. Right, so if you rest your head on a block, and that gives you the feeling that you're still getting work done, it's just not as intense. That's like a perfect, oh, what's that word? Perfect use for a block. How's that? That each breath, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, soften. All right, we're gonna start to move. We'll lift ourselves up. Take your hands back behind you. And if you are facing the back wall, I guess it really doesn't matter. You're just gonna start to rock a little bit from side to side. Beautiful. All right, let's bring our feet forward. I'm gonna turn sideways actually. Start to roll ourselves down to the floor. Press into your feet. Try to keep your feet grounded as you start to lower one vertebrae at a time. Stretch the arms up over the head. Stretch the right side long again. See if it feels any longer, any, more space. Left leg too. Both sides super long. All right, so coming into just a little fish pose. So you can have your hands kind of hugging in towards your hips. If you're, you don't like coming up onto your head, just keep your chest and chin close together and press into the elbows and just make this about an opening of the heart. But if it feels okay to stretch the neck too, we really literally like lift our head up with our elbows and then look behind us. Feel your shoulders roll up and over towards the floor. Maybe even bring your lower lip over your upper lip. All right, we're going to press into the hands again to lower the head back down. Just take a moment, let the body kind of soften, deepen into the floor. We'll draw the feet back into a tabletop position. And here as we come into constructive rest, just notice if you feel different than you did when you first started. Do you ever remember what you feel when you felt like that? Probably not. But if you're feeling really good right now, as I am, you know, it's probably much better than when we first started. You can start to again rock a little bit from side to side. And then we're going to walk our feet together and drop our knees apart. Feel the tailbone reaching down towards the heels a little bit so the low back is flat. And take your hands and start to create a little heat. And you can place your hands either on your hips, if that feels good, on the ribs. Did a lot of work there, or anywhere that you could use a little extra love this morning. But put on your extra layers too. We're almost done. Okay, just a little neck stretch. Okay, so I'm going to take my right hand to my left shoulder, and I'm going to imagine that as I stretch, as I turn my chin towards my right shoulder, that my right hand is going to just kind of iron my left collarbone wider. Now you can stay just like this, or you can also start to give your neck a little massage from the left side, all the way up to the ear, around the jaw. Just don't massage your jugular vein, not so comfortable. My line is, if it feels good, it's probably right. You can also start to move down into the area just around the inner, like the inner armpit, kind of just around the breast, that pectoral muscle. You can give that a little massage. That also gets a lot of activity when you are gardening, shoveling. All right, we're gonna spin our heads back through center. Just take a moment before you switch to the second side, feel it out. And then we'll start to drop our cheek over towards the left as we slide our left hand across the front of our pectoral muscle. Widen our collarbone. Starting to give yourself a little massage. And then finding that pectoral muscle and giving that muscle a massage. If you're not sure, if you stick your finger in and around the front, just in front of your armpit, into a muscle that kind of sticks out there and it's kind of achy, you probably found your pectoral muscle. All right, and then when you have finished your little massage, you can decide if there's any other, let's do one more for the neck. I've got one last one. So we're gonna take our hands and interlace them behind our head. We're gonna press our thumbs into the creases of our neck and our shoulders, and then we're gonna spread our fingers wide as we draw the elbows together. Big back of the neck stretch. Now let your head hang into your arms. Don't let your head do any work here. It's all about your fingers spreading and the arms holding you up. Beautiful. And then we can release it back down and release the arms back down. There we go. Take a nice big inhale. And out through the mouth as we begin to settle. So as you kind of scan through the body, notice if again, if there's any areas that don't feel the sensation of breath moving through them. And see if you can switch that, even just by imagining that the breath is getting in there. Today's daily Om is called Healthy Barriers. As relationships evolve, lives gradually become entwined. We tend to have a great deal in common with the people who attract us, and our regard for them compels us to trust their judgment.
While our lives may seem to run together so smoothly that the line dividing them cannot be seen, we do remain separate beings. To disregard these barriers is to sacrifice independence. It's our respect for the fact that our lives exist independently of the lives of others that allows us to set emotional and physical boundaries, to explore our interests and capabilities even when people close to us do not understand our partialities, and to agree to disagree. Maintaining healthy barriers is a matter of recognizing the point at which our principles and those of our loved ones and peers no longer overlap. Human beings must relentlessly fight the temptation to follow the crowd. Naturally, we want to be liked, accepted, and admired, and it often seems that the easiest way to win approval is to ally ourselves to others. When we assume that our standards are the same as those of the people close to us without first examining our own intentions, we do ourselves a disservice. The barriers that exist between us are a reminder that our paths in life will be unique, and we must accept that I and we can coexist peacefully. Our reactions, our likes, our dislikes, our loves, our goals, our dreams may or may not align with those of others, but we should neither ask others to embrace what we hold dear, nor feel compelled to embrace what they hold dear. As you learn to define yourself as an emotionally and intellectually distinct individual, you will grow to appreciate your autonomy. However much you enjoy the associations that bind you to others and provide you with a sense of identity, your concept of self will ultimately originate within your own soul. The healthy barriers that tell you where you end and the people around you begin will give you the freedom to pursue your development apart from those whose approval you might otherwise be tempted to seek out. Others will continue to play a role in your existence, but their values will not direct its course, and the relationships you share will remain marvelously balanced and harmonious as a result. Let's begin to deepen our breaths. As the energy starts to move through, of course, encourage the movement by wiggling back through your fingers and toes as the breath moves down into those limbs and then through your arms and your legs. Just move and stretch in every way that feels good now. Don't forget to take a little bit of time on your side. Best part of the practice, in my opinion. Here we just notice, without any work done whatsoever, just that beautiful sensation of, I've had a practice, my body is singing, I am in delight. So take a moment, listen to the song. When you're ready to make your way up to seated, you can join me at the front of your mats with your hands at your heart and your heart in your hands. Take a moment as we shift into gratitude to recognize all that we have on and off our mats. So much, and I invite you to think of a few. Let your heart kind of open up, warm up to the imagery of some of the things or people or places you love. We'll take a moment and open our hands a little bit. So as we think of these lovely things, we're also including this beautiful community of ours that we also cherish, and all the things that this community has given us over the year. We'll seal in this lovely sensation and with our practice as we sing out the sound Om once. Take a nice big inhale. Big exhale through the mouth. Inhaling to Om. Om. And as that vibration roots us down a little deeper through our sit bones, our tailbone, we feel ourselves grow through the spine. As a reminder that our thoughts should be always filtered through our hearts, we bring our hands to our head, representing our thoughts, and we bring them back to the heart where they belong. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.